The Weedsman Podcast. ChristopherMedia.net.
Start your day right with Daily Immune Support Plus Extra Strength 5-Hour Energy. It contains all the great 5-Hour Energy Shot ingredients, plus added vitamins and nutrients like zinc, vitamin D3, and vitamin C to help support the immune system. It comes in 3 great flavors: Ultra Orange, Pineapple Apricot, and Pink Watermelon. All this comes in a convenient portable bottle that takes just seconds to drink. No mixing required. Daily Immune Support Plus Extra Strength 5-Hour Energy. Get it today at your local Rite Aid store.
At the Honda Summer Sales Event, one summer adventure leads to another. Start with a great offer on a new Honda, and be on your way to remote beach weekends, deep forest discoveries, and sunsets next to a campfire that you built yourself. For a limited time, well-qualified buyers can get 1.9% APR on the 2021 Honda CR-V, Ridgeline, or the all-new 2022 Civic.
Exclude Civic Type R. See dealer for financing details.
From heading out the door and kicking off your day to enjoying the refreshing breeze on the beach, when it comes to Seagram's Ginger Ale, we won't tell you when to enjoy it because it's good at any time. Whether you're catching the latest flick at the movie theater, enjoying a break between meetings, at a family barbecue, or when you're stirring up a drink for friends or enjoying one on your own, you'll never be disappointed. Wherever you are, Seagram's refreshing taste is always welcome. Seagram's Ginger Ale. Crisp taste, any time or place.
Christopher Media. Let's make some noise. From Asthma Studios near Detroit, Michigan.
Oh, man.
It's the Weedsman Podcast.
I have no idea what's going on.
And now,
you have smoked yourself retarded.
Here are the Weedsmen.
You want to get high?
Hi, I'm Chris.
I'm Aaron. Hi. I'm Aaron.
Yeah.
Hi.
Both. Little column A, little column B.
How is it that I'm 46 years old and when I hear people talk about back to school, I still get a cold feeling in my gut?
Well, I mean, as a father, it's time to spend a bunch of money.
Well, yeah.
So maybe that.
It's always a shock. You're like, no, it's still summer. Stop talking about school.
That's what it probably is. You're being reminded, like, oh, shit, summer's going to be over soon. God damn it. Summer always seems to be the quickest season, too. It seems like just when you're getting into the swing of it, it's over. And sometimes it seems like, fucking winter takes forever. It's a 3-month season that feels like 6.
Yeah. No, part of that is our experience during those months that either make the months seem shorter or longer.
Oh, my God. November to March seems like it takes forever.
Yeah.
Still, even then, sometimes March hangs on a little. March will act like February a little longer than it needs to, like this year.
Certainly in Michigan, yeah.
I think it's really, in Michigan, we really only have like April through August. Like, that's all we got. Like, everything else is roll the fucking dice. Sometimes September and October are nice. Sometimes September and October are shitty. November's always shitty.
I don't know. November's not so bad. Don't hate on November.
I remember November when I was a kid. It felt like it rained literally every day. Like, I still remember it at 42. The November where it rained every day. But I mean, there isn't the trope of a sunny November day doesn't exist for a reason. There's a song called November Rain.
That's true.
November, at least around here, it's always gray. It's always shitty. It is the month that all the trees are finally dead. It's the month that lets you know winter's coming, motherfucker. I'm not talking about Game of Thrones. I like the sun.
I got a new tooth.
Oh, you did? Is this the placeholder or is this the?
Well, it's a placeholder, yeah. But I had one of my front teeth was chipped and small at first, but it just kept growing. I had to get it taken care of. It was another fucking horrific dentist experience.
Oh, Jesus.
I'm not one of those people who are like, oh, I got to go to the dentist. I'm nervous or I'm freaked out by it. And I have a pretty high pain threshold. I'm not, the only thing that I'm a little freaked out about still are needles. But, that part's usually real quick. And yeah, this was it was the shot that they gave me. The doctor gave me 2 shots in the mouth, this big fucking needle that he comes in with. And does your dentist wiggle your lip? That's the technique they do now.
So I'm trying to think of any time. No, I'm trying to think of the last time I got just straight up needle into the gum. Boom, done.
They've taught them now to like grab the lip and just shake the shit out of it. They just wiggle the fuck out of your lip, and it kind of distracts you from the pinching.
Well, they put a numbing agent on at my dentist.
Yes, yeah, they got the gel in there too. It doesn't do a whole lot. It just kind of helps.
See, for me, it works for me. They put the numbing agent on, put the needle in, and all of a sudden, my face feels like a rock.
Yeah, I fucking hate that feeling.
I don't mind it. This is weird.
It drives me nuts. But so they gave me the shot, 2 shots, and they said, "All right, we'll let that set in, and we'll see you in a few." And I just started fucking sweating, just pouring sweat, and I got like really fidgety and started shaking, and my vision started going black around the edges, and I was like, I'm having a fucking panic attack.
Oh, no.
What is going on? And it seemed to happen really fast, where I got to the point where I just totally blacked out.
Whoa.
And came to in the chair, but couldn't figure out, I couldn't see anything at first. My vision was coming back slowly. I couldn't remember where I was. I mean, I think I was like out for like seconds maybe. Couldn't remember where I was at all. Didn't know like, why am I in this weird chair? I was afraid that I was like, was I shouting earlier? Because I felt like I was shouting and I really wanted to shout.
Oh God.
Like I was in full on panic.
You watched too much Dr. Death. I started reading about that guy. I had to stop.
Well, I think I lost you for a second there.
Oh,
Did you say you watched?
I said you were watching too much Dr. Death.
Oh.
Like,
the doctor came back and he's like, all right, you ready? And I was like, he goes, you don't look good. I'm like, no, I'm not. I don't know what's going on. I had a panic attack. And I can't explain, because I wasn't nervous about the procedure at all. I was looking forward to it. And he's like, well, this happens very rarely, but, it's like, when's the last time you were at the dentist? I'm like, I don't know, it's been a while. He's like, well, they put epinephrine in the shot now. And I was like, okay. Well, it felt like you injected it right into my veins. Like, I felt like Hunter Thompson when he takes the adrenochrome.
You took too much, man.
Yeah.
Took too much.
The way he describes adrenochrome was how I felt.
If you could just take me and dump me into the pool.
Yeah. That's what I should have asked them. Because I was like trying to be calm, and he's like, well, you're ready? Like, he let me relax a little bit, and then he came back. He's like, you ready? I'm like, yeah, I think so. But I couldn't stop shaking. I was like just fucking amped. I just had adrenaline running through my system. So they had to give me quite a bit of time just so I could like relax enough to stop fucking shaking. Dude. And then afterwards I was like, that was fucking bizarre. I'm like, I swear to God, I'd never had that happen to me before. And the doctor was nice. He even called me today and he was like, are you doing all right? He's like, it's like I said before, it's rare. But it can happen, but it's not going to, do any permanent damage or anything. I'm like, yeah, I didn't think so.
That was a cover his ass call.
Yeah. No permanent damage. Just felt like it shaved a year off my life.
Yeah. That's cool. Just going to die a year sooner.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't.
But the actual procedure itself was like, that was a breeze, really. And they put a cap and crown on it. So it was one of the two like front top teeth. So it's like, one of the two teeth that you can't fucking ignore. But so they had to like just kind of redo the whole thing. Do you know how they do? Have you ever had this done before, or have you seen it done?
No.
What they do is if you have a broken tooth, but it's still not broken to where the root is exposed or in danger, then they can just shave everything else out or around it. And what they kind of carve your tooth into a little knife point. So it's like a post. And then they just make a fake tooth and glue it onto the post. So you have the root of your original tooth that's still rooted in the gum, but everything that anyone would see is like, I don't know, plastic or whatever the fuck they're going to make the real one out of. So yeah, for a minute there, I tried to get a picture of it, but it didn't work out. I was still kind of out of it. But I wanted to get a picture of me with just like one of my front teeth just shaved down to a little point.
So you got like a vampire tooth?
Yeah, just one little vampire tooth right in the front.
Man, I don't know if I've had an anxiety attack in an airplane, but out at a medical facility, oh, yeah, well, you have to take too much edibles.
Oh, yeah. Right.
And they get on top of you.
Yeah.
And you realize it's happening. Like I said, you just start pouring sweat, and oh, God, you just got to wait it out. You just breathe deep and wait it out. That's what I've learned. Because all you can do, it's like a storm. You got to wait for it to pass.
Right. It's like once that surge hits you, you can't stop it. And nobody can like talk you out of it or anything.
I mean, that's what I tell myself on a plane. Like, you're on a plane. You can't like step outside and get some air. Like,
right.
Fucking just battle through it. And I did. Like,
no. Yeah. I've had experiences like that before, but I've never had it where it came on so strong that it just blew any kind of rational thought out of my head. Like, if I was, more ambulatory, I probably would have gotten up and ran.
You're stuck in that chair. You got all those lights on you.
Yeah, like I was coming out of it like they're trying to mind control me.
I was just about to say, you don't know if they're giving you the Bill Gates chip or what?
Yeah.
Now you have two of them in you. You already got the vaccine. Now you have two chips, Aaron.
Maybe MASH was a bad idea to put on the TV. God. They had cable. They just handed you the remote. They're like, you can put on whatever you want. And I'm like, all right. Oh, look. Motherfucking MASH.
MASH? Really?
Oh, I love me some MASH. I wouldn't be mad at that.
My dad liked to watch it. I was never really... I get it was on for, almost a decade, and it was one of the biggest things. Their finale was, at the time, one of the biggest, most things ever watched. That Seinfeld finally beat it.
The show lasted almost twice as long as the war it was based on.
Yes, I remember hearing that as well.
I think it was about a 4-year conflict and a 7-season run.
Yeah.
Plus the movie.
Yeah, I wouldn't, and I think my dad went to Vietnam, so maybe that was part of, I don't know. I wasn't.
One of the guys, I can't remember his name, but one of the actors that was in the MASH film, the Robert Altman film that came out originally, that the TV series was eventually based on, he was on Gilbert Gottfried's show. And I think it was for MASH. Let's see, maybe not. Maybe it was an earlier film, but he was credited as being the first person to ever say fuck in a movie. And not have it be like, X-rated. And I think it might have been from MASH.
Ooh. MASH broke the fuck barrier.
Yeah.
Shattered the fuck ceiling.
It was pretty racy movie. It was definitely raunchier than the show, and the show was pretty raunchy.
So is Klinger canceled now, or is he a hero?
Well, that's a good question because Klinger only dressed as a woman
because he was trying to get a Section 8
you
were nuts
to try and make people think that he was crazy, right?
Yeah.
So, but he fucking wears those outfits, right? Like, that's the thing.
Is he a transgender pioneer?
If you're just crazy, like you put on a fucking ripped sundress and you comb your hair with a stick, right?
Yeah.
And you'd probably wouldn't wash as much. But he was like, no, I'm crazy and I'm fucking fabulous. Like he had fucking looks, right? He went all out. He put on the fucking dress and the hat that matched and the shoes. He didn't dress like he was insane. He dressed like, I want to dress like a woman. But yeah, when you really break it down, it's not very complimentary to males who like dressing as a woman, whatever category you want to throw those into, because, you know, what they're saying at its core, even the person doing the thing is saying at its core, is this is crazy behavior. Only an insane person would do this. So I think canceled. But how do you cancel Klinger? How do you be mad at Klinger?
Jamie Farr still alive.
Jamie Farr is still alive.
I'd have thought of like, didn't
That's
he just
right.
die a couple of years ago? Nope. He's 87.
No, you can get a cameo from Jamie Farr. I think it's less than $100. You know, say happy birthday and go Mud Hens.
Will he dress as a woman?
I don't think he does that.
Can you get him to do that?
Not today. You can't.
Hey, you're paying for it. He's your dancing monkey.
You don't.
Put on this dress and wish me happy birthday, Klinger.
I don't think there's a lot of celebrities that have a whatever you ask me to do tier.
Well, then it crosses over into OnlyFans.
Yeah.
Which someone's going to break that barrier next, right?
The barrier between which two things? OnlyFans and celebrities?
Yes. Like, so, yeah. Someone's going to get desperate enough, like, hey, I'll show you my titties.
No, it's my body and I'll do what I want chick. She did.
Who's that?
You know, she was on whatever, like Jerry Springer or something, and she got really famous. And that's who Cartman was making fun of.
Oh, what's her nuts? Oh, Bad Baby?
Yes, her. She's got an OnlyFans.
Yeah, but she doesn't, she's not showing her goods.
Well, I want my money back then.
It's
what do you mean she's not showing her goods?
OnlyFans is supposed to be porn. It's OnlyFans supposed to be like porn, isn't it?
I know. So I've been poking around at techno music and looking for some figuring out which DJ interface and software I want to go with. And so all my ads lately have been like, "Oh, buy our beats, learn to mix." And I'm like, "Get the fuck out of here!" And oh fuck, I totally derailed. What were we talking about that reminded me of this? OnlyFans.
Yeah.
Sorry. And I see an ad come up on like Instagram or something that's OnlyFans for DJs.
What?
Yeah, and it's like, hey, DJs, build your following here on OnlyFans. Like, the OnlyFans, I think they set themselves up just to be kind of like a Patreon type of thing, and it just kind of worked out for the porn.
Well, shocking. Porn was on the cutting edge of something with technology. That never happens. Oh, wait, it happens all the time with everything.
So I don't know. I mean, now it's like a thing. It's like a...
You want to know where society is going? People follow the porn. And I'm not being facetious. Like, porn has literally been... It is always at the forefront of every emerging technology. Because guys like to beat off.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you want to know where society is going, you just have to look at what the majority of individuals desire in that society. That's what, whatever drives them, that's the direction they're going to go in.
And we love fucking.
Sex, money, respect, popularity, whatever, So I guess we're going to get South Park for
a long fucking time.
It's a lot of fucking South Park. Like, I can't even... I'm trying to think of percentage-wise how many of the South Park episodes I've seen, and I think it's about par with The Simpsons. Like, there was just I watched up to a certain point and then stopped, and it just kept going and going and going.
If it makes it to... No, South Park won't be on for 30 years. It came on in 1997.
Yep. And they were renewed until 2027.
Yeah.
So they were renewed through their 30th season.
And they signed a the number 9 picture deal with Paramount Plus. They're going to make 9 movies for Paramount Plus. Trey Parker and Matt Stone.
Maybe your news is a little old. That's 14 movies.
14?
That they're going to do.
5 more have shown up?
2 a year for the next 7 years.
Wow. I mean, good for these guys. These guys were 2 fucking Colorado stoners. South Park was something they made while they were in college. It was one of the... Jesus versus Santa Claus could arguably be called one of the first viral videos.
So it's interesting, though, that the seasons are going to be 10 episodes. So a lot shorter than I think what they've done in the past. So it sounds like they're just kind of breaking up the workload a little bit different in a way that allows them to tell some longer stories. So rather than do like a 4-part episode that runs over the course of the month, they can just, drop a movie. So maybe it's like, you get a movie at the beginning of the year, you get 10 episodes in the middle, then you get a movie at the end of the year.
I mean, either way,
So
like these.
it sounds like about the same amount of workload, the same amount of content. It's just structured in a different way. It's kind of like what's happening with comics. There's a lot of comics there are a lot of creators, especially the independent ones, who instead of using the traditional format of releasing a floppy for $4 or $5, once a month, until you get your 6 issues to build up to a complete story, they instead just hold on to it and do all 6 issues and just release it as a trade and just bypass the floppies, as they call them, completely. So that's a very comic book model that they're following.
It works. And I'd really like these guys, when you talk about like, your American success stories, these guys fit it. I mean, again,
yeah,
2 fucking stoners who made something in their spare time and they've turned it into a fucking career and an empire. Yep. They branched out into, they showed with the Book of Mormon, they were more than just the South Park guys. I mean,
yep. Yeah, these stories are so rare, even because there's so many people that there's like famous people that have their stories about, how they grew up and where they came from and how they had to pull themselves up from their bootstraps. And, 99% of the time it was, where and how they were born. My dad was a producer. My dad was a doctor and didn't care what the fuck I did. Mm-hmm. My parents were independently wealthy. I have royalty in my background. Something.
Yeah, or they had a connection, like somebody knew somebody who knew somebody.
Most of the people that you see working in movies and on TV that get record contracts and are touring, most of these people grew up in well-off families where nobody was like, you got to get out and get a job and go work at McDonald's. But occasionally we do still have those actual, real, pull yourself up. What's the other overused phrase that I'm trying to think of? From rags to riches. That's the one.
Yeah, because they were in college.
A true rags to riches story.
You don't have any bootstraps in college?
This is it.
If you have bootstraps in college, you sell them so you can buy ramen.
And, it's why, like, I respect Matt and Trey because they've managed to, like, make millions doing something that they obviously love, because at this point you got to figure if they're still doing it, they're doing it for the love, because if they hated this job, they could go fuck off and buy an island somewhere, right?
They've never compromised.
No, They've managed to figure out a way where they're like, this is what we're going to do. This is a show. This is what we think is funny. There's times where I fully agree with them and find it completely funny, and there's other times where I don't.
That's the best part about them, too, is you don't know, you can't tell if they're Democrats or Republicans when you watch South Park. No, right. Everybody is game. Nobody is off limits on South Park. Remember the episode where they fucking literally asked Tom Cruise and somebody else, like, go ahead, sue us. It was like in the episode, the character looking at the camera.
At the camera, yeah. Please.
Yeah,
it's free advertisement.
And at this point, I've heard that they are to the point Comedy Central doesn't even look at a South Park; they just air it. Comedy Central gives no notes, no edits. They just go here, and you can't fucking touch it.
What are they going to say to? Like, they could at this point, these two could make their own streaming channel, right? They could be like, all right, pay us $2 a month and you can watch any South Park, including the new ones that we're making right now. And people would do it, and then they'd probably make just as much, if not more money.
Yeah.
They could go to any other network, any other channel would take them. They have a deep, deep library and current content. That's what everybody's looking for. So there's not really, like, Comedy Central is smart in that respect. At least they've recognized, the things that they maybe shouldn't fuck with.
I wonder
They
if
haven't been so hot on finding new talent lately, but at least they
Right.
respect the talent they have.
all the shows that they're developing are all reboots. I wonder if does Les Claypool ever get a piece of this money, or did he just he did write the theme?
I would imagine that Les Claypool's probably doing all right. I mean,
Well, besides being Les Claypool,
well, yeah, but you get royalties off of a theme song.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. And
So-
30 years of South Park, that's 30 years of the theme song being played.
Yeah. I mean, there's bands like fucking Nerf Herder, right? A band that nobody's heard of, never made anything that hit the radio, but they did the song that was picked for the Buffy the Vampire TV show. Mm-hmm. And they are probably all independently wealthy. They are probably still blowing their money on passion projects and solo albums.
Because they can.
Because they can.
Got that mailbox money.
That reminds me of two things. One, and I can't find it. I'm going to have to look this up. I read that Les Claypool was taking bass lessons from Geddy Lee.
I saw that. So much bass power in that room. Holy shit. What's Geddy Lee going to fucking teach Les Claypool? It should be the other way around.
I don't know. Well, it could be that Les Claypool seems like one of those people who never had a formal lesson, right? He knew what the bass was supposed to sound like, and he was like, all right, I could do something like that. Like, he does not have a traditional slap method, and he definitely doesn't have a traditional technique. So maybe that's just what he's looking for. Maybe he's finding that his method works really well for projects when he's writing them and they're based around his style of playing. But he's been playing with a lot of other musicians lately.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he's had... My
And
favorite project of his
maybe
is
he
still
just wants
Oysterhead.
to. Maybe he's like, hey, maybe I need to learn to lay back in the cut a little bit and just, keep the rhythm.
But
nice.
I wouldn't call
And
Geddy
I don't-
Lee's style laying back in the cut, because a lot of times
No,
it
I
seemed
know.
like he was making up for no rhythm guitar.
Exactly. Yeah, that's very true. So I don't know. Who knows what they're learning from each other? I'm just hypothesizing because it's fun to think about. That would be. I almost said that would be a fun room to be in. But I mean, if somebody was like, "Hey, behind that door, Les Claypool and Geddy Lee are talking bass and playing,"
I mean, get the
go
fuck
in
out
there
of
and
here.
hang out with them, I'd be like, I can't do it. I can't do it. But if I, put a recording on that and I can watch it on YouTube, yeah, I'll watch that all day. Put those two on a podcast together. It's called Slappin' Bass.
Slapping the bass. Paul Rudd could host it.
Now, Les Claypool is, quote, learning from the master, Geddy Lee, for Primus's Rush tribute tour. Oh, they're doing
there we go.
That's why.
What? First,
Now that makes more sense.
I'll go see that shit. Right? Primus going to do Rush?
Yeah.
What are they going to do?
Primus do Rush or Rush do Primus. I'll see either, actually.
Right? Well, you can't anymore.
Oh, that's true. Yipes.
By the way, Neil Peart only died last year. I know it seems like 5
That's-
years ago.
Yeah. Yes, but he died in the longest year.
Yes. Well, wow. I mean, they're going to do YYZ, right? They have to.
I don't know. I guess there's a documentary that's re-releasing next month too. A bunch of Rush stuff planned. Primus will be performing the legendary Canadian rock act's fifth album, A Farewell to Kings, in full.
Oh, isn't that the one with fucking Closer to the Heart on it?
I don't know. The only Rush album that was in my household when I was growing up was Roll the Bones.
Ugh.
I know.
Gross.
What's on this? Farewell to Kings, Xanadu. And side 2, Closer to the Heart, yep. Cinderella Man, Madrigal, and then the Cygnus X1 book, like a 4-part.
Closer to the Heart is their worst radio hit, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. To me, it's all about, what is it, Signals?
Am I thinking of the right song? Because Closer to the Heart always sounded like a Billy Squier song or something. Yeah.
Here, hold on, this one.
Yeah, I can hear the whole thing in my head now as I remember it. And it totally, like, I used to think that was Billy Squier or somebody.
No thanks. You have much better material, Rush.
The other thing that I was reminded of when we were talking about music rights is that the news came out this week that De La Soul has announced that their music is going to be hitting streaming services later this year. And it's due to the fact that they have gained the rights to their original recordings.
What, were they one of those bands who didn't have them for 30 years?
Well, we've talked about this before, about why their stuff wasn't on streaming services, and it was because of the number of samples that were on there, and it makes it really hard to clear. And, you know, it was like cost prohibitive to put those onto streaming services. But I think another kink in that was that, I think it was twofold, actually. They haven't been totally forthcoming about this, so I think there's a lot of hypothesizing about what's going on behind the scenes. If I were to guess, it sounds like their label Tommy Boy probably had a deal with them where, like, you know, we sign you, we own your shit until you pay us off, right? That's pretty standard terms. You know, usually it's like, we'll front you studio time so you can record your album. You owe us. We'll get ours on the back end when we sell your record and, you know, get your ticket sales and all that shit, right? And that's how a lot of artists ended up in debt, because they could never pay back what was put into the front end of the recording, at least not on paper. And I think what happened with De La Soul is that because Tommy Boy was paying out so much in royalties off of these recordings, they were probably still claiming ownership of them. Like, no, you still owe us on this. You know, and especially if the albums aren't selling super well. You know, De La Soul's kind of more of a cult hit band than, you know, they definitely had some radio hits, but it did not follow them throughout their career. They made music, you know, for decades after that nobody really heard. People in the hip-hop industry weren't paying attention to them. They weren't getting played on the radio at all. It was pretty much, they were the heroes of the backpack rap crowd, you know. The rappers the ravers loved, but not selling millions and millions and millions. And so I think when you take a kind of median-selling cult album and you got a lot of sample clearance on that, you know, I can see a situation where the label's like, yeah, we're still going to hold on to this because you still haven't, you know, paid us back everything because this album's so expensive to release.
Yeah.
And whatever the situation, again, I'm totally guessing on that, but I don't know. You know, if I'm not right, I'm close. But whatever the situation is, it's resolved. They are the owners of their original material now, and you'll be able to find it on streaming services, which is great, because not only is you know, albums like 3 Feet High and Rising and De La Soul is Dead, those are just classic albums that I think are important to their time in hip-hop. It was, you know, some people kind of look at it as a transition time from, like, hip-hop being a true music of the streets to, like, let's make this a little bit more for white people so we can make it radio-friendly. But I think really De La Soul was just doing something different. They were like, we love hip-hop. We just don't see why hip-hop always has to be combined with braggadocious behavior and abuse of women and threatening people with violence.
And maybe, you know, the crate diggers found different records, too. Anyone ever think of that one?
And not that I'm putting down any of that music and saying, like, oh, there's good hip-hop or there's bad hip-hop. It's just, hip-hop is a wide net, like rock and roll. You can sing rock and roll songs about loving somebody, about killing somebody, about leaving somebody. You know, there's no reason why hip-hop should be that constrictive of a form. And for me, it wasn't about hip hop being more radio friendly or, you know, getting some crossover success in like college radio and stuff like that. It was about a true expansion of the form and a reminder that the roots of this music were in party music, disco, funk, people getting together and having a good time. And, you know, the original MCs, it wasn't like, hey, we got to go see this guy because he's going to tell us how big his dick is and how many women he's had and how many people he shot and how many drugs he sells. That wasn't the draw. You know, it was, he's just going to get up there and make sure everyone has a good time by telling them to get up off their asses, right? That was the MC's job. And there's a lot of the samples that they're using in those early albums are from that era of music, that funk, disco, party music. I mean, look at a roller skating jam called Saturdays. That's a disco funk classic, man. I've seen that. I've seen DJs play that in house sets and kill. So, but also beyond that, I think they're all talented. They're all really good writers. They all have a very unique style and rhythm. And their later stuff was very different, but still really good. I mean, Balloon Mind State is hands down one of my favorite rap albums. That's one of those, I got to hear the whole thing front to back. I know all the words to it. And it's a fucking classic.
Here's your jam.
That's the one. I don't know, man. I'm excited. I like the fact that I like hearing stories about artists getting their due, owning their shit, having some control over their work, and making sure that their lasting legacy can continue to go on.
Hey, that's cute too.
Because, I mean, this is, you know, besides getting paid correctly, if you don't follow the formats, then you're dead. You know, like there's like every time there's a new music format, they're going to re-release all of Elvis's music. Why? Because people still fucking listen to it and buy it. And whatever device they have for listening to music, they're like, well, I got to have, you know, Elvis's golden hits or whatever the fuck.
Understand the influence? Not a fan.
Sure. Yeah, it's another one where I respect the talent for days, but I don't get it. I don't get why people just fall to pieces over it.
Yeah, I mean, maybe if we were 10 to 20 years older, we'd understand it more.
Yeah, possibly.
Because if you think about it, there are people who saw music transform because of him. Like popular music was one thing one day, and in a matter of months, it was something else because of him.
He was he was like the specter of transformation. Like he wasn't the transformation of music itself. He was like the avatar of rock and roll, right? He was the easy face that everyone could slap on it.
You had to put a white face on the black music, and here you go.
Yeah. That's actually from Balloon Mind State. It must be from like a movie or TV show or something, but they've got a sample in there, and it's this very white-sounding guy telling this group about how they're gonna put somebody else on the record cover. They're gonna put a bunch of white people on the cover so they can sell this to more people. And he's like, I don't know. Like one of the guys is talking at the end of the song. He's talking about everyone's talking about crossing over. We got to cross over. You know, nobody crosses over to our side. You ever see 5 brothers on Elvis's record?
It's true. I'm sure the Jordanaires were all white guys.
The Weedsman Podcast. ChristopherMedia.net.
Start your day right with Daily Immune Support Plus Extra Strength 5-Hour Energy. It contains all the great 5-Hour Energy Shot ingredients, plus added vitamins and nutrients like zinc, vitamin D3, and vitamin C to help support the immune system. It comes in 3 great flavors: Ultra Orange, Pineapple Apricot, and Pink Watermelon. All this comes in a convenient portable bottle that takes just seconds to drink. No mixing required. Daily Immune Support Plus Extra Strength 5-Hour Energy. Get it today at your local Rite Aid store.
New hot and iced Sunrise Batch Coffee from Dunkin'. A bright and balanced, full-bodied blend brewed so you can get summering from sunrise to sunset. And even after that, because that's when you can show off those string lights you hung in the backyard. Or rehung. Enjoy a medium, hotter iced sunrise batch coffee for $2. America runs on Dunkin'. Price and participation may vary. Limited time offer. Exclusions apply.
From heading out the door and kicking off your day to enjoying the refreshing breeze on the beach, when it comes to Seagram's Ginger Ale, we won't tell you when to enjoy it because it's good at any time. Whether you're catching the latest flick at the movie theater, enjoying a break between meetings, at a family barbecue, or when you're stirring up a drink for friends or enjoying one on your own, you'll never be disappointed. Wherever you are, Seagram's refreshing taste is always welcome. Seagram's Ginger Ale. Crisp taste, anytime or place.
Start your day right with Daily Immune Support Plus Extra Strength 5-Hour Energy. It contains all the great 5-Hour Energy Shot ingredients, plus added vitamins and nutrients like zinc, vitamin D3, and vitamin C to help support the immune system. It comes in 3 great flavors: Ultra Orange, Pineapple Apricot, and Pink Watermelon. All this comes in a convenient portable bottle that takes just seconds to drink. No mixing required. Daily Immune Support Plus Extra Strength 5-Hour Energy. Get it today at your local Rite Aid store.
At the Honda Summer Sales Event, one summer adventure leads to another. Start with a great offer on a new Honda, and be on your way to remote beach weekends, deep forest discoveries, and sunsets next to a campfire that you built yourself. For a limited time, well-qualified buyers can get 1.9% APR on the 2021 Honda CR-V, Ridgeline, or the all-new 2022 Civic.
Exclude Civic Type R. See dealer for financing details.
From heading out the door and kicking off your day to enjoying the refreshing breeze on the beach, when it comes to Seagram's Ginger Ale, we won't tell you when to enjoy it because it's good at any time. Whether you're catching the latest flick at the movie theater, enjoying a break between meetings, at a family barbecue, or when you're stirring up a drink for friends or enjoying one on your own, you'll never be disappointed. Wherever you are, Seagram's refreshing taste is always welcome. Seagram's Ginger Ale. Crisp taste, anytime or place.
ChristopherMedia.net. The Weedsman Podcast.
So I saw that Suicide Squad movie.
I thought they put out another one. Wasn't the first one, didn't people not like it, but they made another one?
Well, you know, the thing about the first movie was that there was a lot of ways in which it did work. And it actually was successful as a proof of concept. It just wasn't executed well. And there's nothing drastically different about this movie than the last one on its face. If you actually look at, movie making, there's a lot different about this one than the last one, like a plot that makes sense, some character arcs that actually help take you through the story. It's funny. It's not only much better than the original, it's like one of my favorite superhero movies. I thought it was thoroughly, thoroughly enjoyable. And, this is James Gunn, the guy who made you love Guardians of the Galaxy, even though diehard comic book lovers were like, what the fuck is Marvel doing? Nobody's going to love the Guardians of the Galaxy. It's the stupidest. And he was like, oh, yeah, well, you present anything the right way, people eat it up. And this was presented in the right way. Great, actually fully developed characters that had understandable motivations, had story arcs that took them through the story, had actual change and real conflict happening and growth, all amongst, what looks like on its face just a stupid shoot 'em up. And it's over the top, it's violent and gory. There's, too many heads blowing up and people being ripped in half.
You got John Cena and Sly in it. So, you're definitely good for going for the action movie dollar.
Yeah. Well, so Sylvester Stallone, he does the voice of King Shark. And I had actually forgotten that Sylvester Stallone was in it. And I watched the whole thing the first time, not knowing who did the voice of King Shark. And then the second time, he said, when I watched it with my kids again, it's something like kind of stuck out to me. I was like, there was just a little tick that I was like, oh my God, that's like totally Sylvester Stallone. I had forgotten that he was doing something in this. And that's to his credit. He does a really, really fantastic job voicing this character. And it's not an easy character to voice. I mean, he's kind of a Groot type of character. He's playing the,
That's the same 3 words the whole time?
Well, no, I mean, like, he has more... It's actually harder than that because he has more dialogue, but he still has to speak really simply, Like in the first scene that you see King Shark and he's reading a book upside down, and they're like teasing him. They're like, "Oh, he wants us to think he can read," and he's like, "Me enjoy book much." And yeah, John Cena is great in it. Him and Idris Elba are just fantastic. They're the ones that are butting heads with each other more than anything because they both have. They're told that they were picked for their unique skill set for the team. And then they describe everyone's skill set. And they describe Peacemaker, who is John Cena, and Bloodsport, who is Idris Elba, as having the exact same, upbringing and assassin capabilities and never miss their target and everything. And so then they're constantly trying to outdo one another throughout
They're the alpha dogs in the room.
The movies, yeah, but in very amusing ways. Harley is great in it. This is probably the best representation of Harley Quinn in any of the movies, including the Harley Quinn in the Birds of Prey movie, because this one actually fully throws you into the world of Harley and how fucking crazy she is. And she is. She's a character who's supposed to be mentally insane. Not cute and quirky, not funky and alternative and likes to dye your hair. She's literally insane.
She's a psycho.
Yeah. So in this is like a truly insane version of Harley. They don't try and, sweeten her up too much or but she's got to have heart, or else people won't like her. No, we like her because she's fucking crazy.
Either way, it's in the package that is Margot Robbie, who I just find would be one of the most stunning women on the planet.
She's not only just beautiful, she is so fucking charming that, yes, I would watch her in absolutely anything.
Yeah.
And it's actually, like her in the Tarantino, what was the last Tarantino film?
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Right. So the controversy was that he took this great actress and didn't give her any lines and just made her some bubble-headed idiot.
That's who Sharon Tate was in the story.
Right. You mean she played a part?
Yeah.
But also, it's to Quentin Tarantino's credit that he actually managed to cast Margot Robbie in a role where she just kind of blended in.
Because she's an actress, and Quentin Tarantino said, "Hey, you want to be in my movie?" She said, "Fuck yes, of course I do."
Right.
You want to play Sharon Tate? Yes.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's about the role, not what. I watched that clip again. I ran into it online the other day with Quentin Tarantino when he was on the press junket for that film, and him telling her he rejects her hypothesis. I want to stand up and clap every time I watch that fucking clip.
I know. Well, he's been doing the rounds for his book lately. So he did an interview, he was on WTF. It's on something else. He's been doing quite a few podcasts, and these interviews are actually pretty fascinating. And I love how frank he is.
Because it was someone telling one of these woke assholes, "Shut the fuck up. Your question you're asking is fucking stupid."
Yeah.
No, I did not purposely give Margot Robbie less lines, you fucking moron. It's called
everyone wants a
story.
Everyone wants to try and tell Quentin Tarantino how to do his job. I don't get it.
He's got a bunch of little gold statues that say he knows how to do his job just fine.
Yeah. We love Quentin Tarantino because he made movies that, while being derivative and also triggered a little bit of member berries in us, also seemed to present something that was wholly original. That's a very difficult thing to do, to trigger both of those things at once. And he's done it over and over again with great success. So quit trying to tell him how to fucking do his job and what he should be putting in his movies already.
This person would have been mad Uma Thurman was only in a half hour of Pulp Fiction.
Right.
What is she doing here? It's part of the story, you fucking moron. Did you have to make her a drug addict? Yes, it's part of the story.
But he doesn't back down at all from anything. He was talking to Mark Maron about how one of those early moments that when, he realized kind of like not only what he wanted to do, but that he was going to do it and he was driven to do it. And it had to do with like a interaction with the teacher that was telling him that like, no, this is wrong and what you're doing is garbage. This is not how you do this, not how you write this shit. Not in that language, obviously. And he was like, no, fuck you. I'm going to do it. And I'm going to prove to you that you just gave me a reason. You told me I couldn't do it. Now you just gave me a reason to succeed, just to show you. And Mark Maron was like, well, you should buy that person a house or something. Like they, whether they meant to or not, they drove you, they inspired you. And he was like, no, fuck that bitch. He's like, I'm buying her a house, and she wasn't trying to do anything. She was trying to fucking crush some kid.
Yeah.
And I refused to be crushed. She doesn't deserve shit. And there's a news story out today that where I guess somebody brought up his mother, and I guess she wasn't too supportive of his career early on either. And so he was like, all right, you're not going to support me? You ain't seeing any of the money when I make it. And lo and behold, he's made money. And guess who hasn't seen any of it? His mother.
Damn.
Because he's true to his word.
Damn. That's being kind of a dick. But I mean, I respect him sticking to his guns. But I'm with him on that other person. On the
teacher. Yeah, because that was some bullshit. That person wasn't like trying to give you some tough love so you could overcome it out. That person was trying to shit on somebody else because they had a bad day and they took it out on a student. And
or
that's
just mad that they're a teacher. What is it, those who can't teach? It's probably bitter that they're a teacher.
Can't teach.
Yeah. So they're probably just trying to shit on a kid, just hurt him through the class, get their paycheck. No, they weren't purposely trying to help him. I'm with him. Fuck that.
Yeah. Wait, another Night Court star is down.
No.
Marky Post.
Is Larroquette getting nervous?
Marky Post of Night Court and The Fall Guy. She was in The Fall Guy. I thought The Fall Guy
that's one of those shows that was on after I went to bed.
Yeah. Wait, who is in The Fall Guy?
I always got. I'm trying to remember my post-show announcements. Ken Wall. I'm trying to remember Ernie Anderson.
Yeah, because I think I always got Fall Guy and T.J. Hooker confused.
Well, T.J. Hooker, that was Billy Schatz and Heather Locklear.
Yes, right. So that's what I was thinking of, Heather Locklear, because they said The Fall Guy. I was like, I thought that was Heather Locklear, but I guess that was Heather Locklear was Marky Post.
Oh no, Ken Wall was a Wise Guy, not The Fall Guy. Wrong guy.
She was on Chips, Incredible Hulk, The Love Boat, Cheers, Fantasy Island, and The A-Team, or also known as an actor in the 80s.
Yeah.
Those were the shows that you did.
Oh, shit. Lee Majors was the Fall Guy.
Oh.
It's probably his last vehicle where he mattered.
And I think the plot was that he was a stuntman, right? He was a stuntman who kept getting into trouble. Like, people would come to him like, I don't know, Hollywood. You know how to fall off a building. Can you help? My husband's stalking me.
Hollywood stuntman Colt Seavers picks up some extra pocket money by using his rough and tumble skills to track and capture bail jumpers. Helped by his green younger cousin Howie and Jody, a beautiful stunt colleague.
That must have been Marky Post.
Oh, it looks like originally not Marky Post. That is not Marky Post in that promo photo.
Oh, maybe she played a different role then.
Let's look at this.
Never watched it.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's Harry Anderson's dead. Mac is dead. Marky Post is dead. I said who's left? Larroquette and Bull, right? And Marsha Warfield. That's it. There will be no Night Court reunion.
Yeah. John Larroquette and Marsha Warfield penned tributes to Marky Post.
And Bull, who we determined was alive a few weeks ago, apparently don't give a fuck.
Yeah. He's like, fuck that bitch.
We both thought he was dead. We looked him up. Very much alive. Still big, like, still bald.
She made fun of my height once.
Yeah. Wouldn't give me any.
Yeah.
Allegedly, though, do you know another thing she's famous for? Allegedly, Bill Clinton nailed her in the White House.
Oh, I gotta give me some of that Marky Post.
Yeah, I was watching Night Court. You gave me a boner. You gonna do it in the Lincoln bedroom? Hey, I'm just saying, if we end up in a world like Scandal, with the female president, I had a chance to nail her, I would. This is to say you had sex with the president.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think I would fuck any president, honestly. I mean, what couldn't you do after that?
It's true.
I fucked the president. How many of you could say that?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure that was a feather in Lewinsky's cap for a second. Because, yeah, she was like 21 at the time, right?
Well, I mean, honestly, people buy her purses because she fucked a president.
It's true.
Or because they're great designs. Like, no, I don't know if they're great or not. I know that, it's not generally a purse designer, not usually your traditional rags to riches story.
Yeah. She starts a handbag company and never blows Bill Clinton. We never know who she is.
She never starts the company. She never thinks that I could sell handbags.
It's true.
There'd be no reason for her to think, I think I could be successful at selling handbags if she didn't get fame from something else. I'm just stating it as a fact. I'm not saying like she's, some sort of opportunist.
No, I understand what you're saying.
I don't know what the fuck Mountain Dew is doing, but it's after the wrong crowd.
I think I know exactly what you're about to talk about. And yeah, I saw him like, yeah, is your crowd really up in the morning?
Up in the morning?
Oh, yeah.
What?
Usually going to bed. What are you talking about? Maybe I'm talking about something completely different.
I think, there's two things so they announced, there was a new flavor that was going to be announced. Maybe that's the one you're talking about. What was the?
No, I saw they're going to be Mountain Dew Rise.
Mountain Dew Rise.
Like it's for the morning. Like your crowd is going to bed in the morning, Mountain Dew. This isn't your. People who are going places in the morning generally drink coffee because they're adults.
Right. Mountain Dew Rise. Like the commercial is, it's 11:30 a.m. It's time to get out of bed. Yeah, start your day right.
What they're touting mental. What did I see? They're touting energy and mental alertness.
Yeah. Yep.
Isn't it just called being awake?
When you first wake up, you got to be alert and ready to bust noobs online.
Yeah. You're not getting taken out by a camper today because you drink your Mountain Dew Rise.
No, so I had actually not seen that one. There was another product they announced that's coming out next year that's called Hard Mountain Dew.
What? I mean, the first reaction I have is like, this took that long?
Yeah. Hard Mountain Dew will belong to the flavored malt beverage category and contain 5% alcohol by volume. So they're going after White Claw.
Yeah.
Which I tried the other day. Whoa. Oh my God. You thought Zima was bad.
Yeah, it's the hard seltzer thing, I think, is coming to an end because I posting stuff for Beer Nuts. I ran into a story a couple of weeks ago of Boston Beer Company took a huge fucking kicking the nuts financially because they were planning on that truly hard seltzer being something, and the sales have not been there.
Yeah,
I've never had one. I'm not interested. I got friends who are like, oh, beer's too heavy. You drink these. I was like, nah, I'm good.
Well, right. I think everyone was drinking it going, it's 0 calories. Right? And then
it's still alcohol, which is sugar.
At some point, they went, oh, you know what else is 0 calories? Every other liquor.
It's not
well, I guess not every. I mean, I'm sure there's some that have, your mudslides and stuff like that.
Oh, no,
but in general, you want 0 calories? There's no calories in a vodka tonic.
But alcohol is nothing. Alcohol is literally sugar. It is the byproduct. Like, that's how it is formed in beer. Right. That's what I don't get. I've always said, if you're worried about health, don't drink.
That is odd because I'm looking at the cans for the Hard Mountain Dew and it says 0 sugar in big letters. I'm like, how do you make alcohol without sugar?
You can't.
Yeah. 0 added sugar
Yeah.
is what they really mean. That they're not adding anything to the mix that is introducing more sugar to it.
Yeah. If you are counting calories, if you are watching your weight, if you're trying to shed some pounds, don't drink.
Or do shots.
Like that's what Like the other day, somebody I was with ordered a Michelob Ultra. It's like, it's only 95 calories. I'm like, well, I have a Coors Light right here that's 102. 7 more calories. I'm having a way better beer. Who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
And the can you have looks like a dick. Looks like you're drinking out of a thin dick.
This news is all lame. There's nothing. Hey, they're turning a Sears into a dispensary. That's got to be a big fucking dispensary.
Yeah.
This is Michigan in Coldwater. Where's Coldwater?
Western Michigan. Out by Kalamazoo. I think it was maybe like south.
That's what I was thinking, because this has got to be one of those locations where like people are probably coming from like, everyone in a 30-mile radius is coming to this one joint.
It's probably a good
probably
spot.
The only place out there.
And I think it's, if I remember where Coldwater is correctly, it's probably a good spot for people from Indiana.
Oh yeah.
Let me Google map this.
Yeah, you're not far from the border there. Probably. I'd either want to be in between Kalamazoo and the border or Kalamazoo and Grand Rapids.
Coldwater looks like it is just south of Battle Creek. Well,
okay.
It's halfway between Angola, Indiana, and Battle Creek. So yeah, it's one of those southern Michigan communities. Angola is right on the border between Michigan and Indiana.
Yeah, so that's got to be a big factor in why they've got all this retail space. They're expecting a lot of people coming in from Indiana.
It's right off of 69.
Nice. Well, here's an editorial. Say no to legalized recreational marijuana that appeared in The Vindicator. That's like a nice paper.
Sounds legitimate.
Here we go again. A group of misguided people are again going to make a push to legalize marijuana in Ohio for recreational use. Are they serious? With COVID-19 still having a stranglehold on the state, do we really need another pandemic to deal with? What?
Okay, let's just start with
cannabis is that pandemic?
And COVID-19's only still going on if you didn't get a shot.
Yeah.
It's a stance, and I'm taking it.
I know their argument will be that we have alcohol. Yes, but at least the next morning my mind is still my own. What?
Wait, what? What?
And yes, if required by my employer, I can pass a drug test. I doubt that people who worship the weed can say the same thing. Okay. Yeah, so what he's saying is he can drink and then wake up and be fine the next morning, but when he smokes, he's a different person when he wakes up or has no control over his mind or he's still high. Like, you're getting some good shit, dude.
Yeah,
because
I
usually
smoke
it's
your
the
weed.
opposite. I mean, I gotta smoke and probably ingest. Usually if I eat a shit ton of cannabis, then I will have a bit of a sluggish hangover the next day. But I've got to really pack in the THC.
Yeah, do you know what it takes to have a weed hangover?
Yeah.
A lot.
And for alcohol, it doesn't really take much.
Nope.
Our elected officials should be more concerned with what is best for the people of Ohio, not how much money will be generated by the tax imposed. We are considering that in legalization, right?
Is this your first day, buddy? Is this your first? It's all they're concerned with. The tax dollars are how they get paid.
There are many forms of illegal drugs here in Ohio. Semicolon. So you know this guy's smart. Let's not add insult to injury by making marijuana legal for recreational use. Vote no on this ridiculous issue. Jim Idle.
Everything you just said is an opinion. He backed up nothing he said with any facts.
No, yeah, exactly.
Any examples. It was all opinion.
It was all, I don't like cannabis, so I don't think anybody should smoke cannabis.
I mean, it's an editorial. I guess he's allowed to do that. But at the same time,
that's what it's there for.
But like you said, it should just, I don't like cannabis.
It makes no strong argument for why you should or why you shouldn't legalize it. It just says, no, we don't need to because cannabis is dumb.
Yeah. Like if you were hoping to sway people over to your side, you did a terrible job. This person is obviously not a lawyer, does not argue for a living. If they are, they're a terrible lawyer.
There's a study that suggests that cannabis can induce a psychedelic-like oceanic experience.
I saw this headline. What the fuck does this mean?
Yeah. That's the thing. If you're going to tell me this, you got to tell me how, because I've done it a lot of different ways and I still can't get it. Like, am I doing it wrong? Do you have to have just the right, like if you take a blunt and a bong hit and a brownie all at the same time, you'll feel like you're on the ocean.
When it's the oceanic experience, what? Like I'm floating in the ocean? Like I'm sailing on the ocean? What do you mean? Like I'm hanging out with a singing crab and a mermaid? What do they mean?
Right. I don't even know how like, how is that a result from a study? Like, it's so vague. It's like scientific studies show that most people think that cannabis is quote unquote cool.
I know it's Bill Maher, but new rule, you're not allowed to say the phrase scientific study if you don't put a link to it or the example in your fucking story. Because, quite honestly, it sounds like you're making shit up. Like how Adam Carolla says he, as a former prosecutor, and nobody vets it. Like all you got to do is say, oh, a scientific study said, and then people won't vet you. Oh, because a scientific study said so. I want to see the study.
Well, they do. But so the oceanic feeling that they describe, it was originally noticed in psychedelics. According to the study author Mitch Earlywine, a professor of psychology at the University at Albany, he says once the psilocybin lab started emphasizing that oceanic boundlessness seemed to be the mechanism underlying the molecule's antidepressant effects, nearly every cannabis fan couldn't help but ask, hey, doesn't marijuana have comparable effects? Yeah, I don't think so.
What do you mean by oceanic boundlessness? Like, do they ever define oceanic?
Yeah, previous research has found that psilocybin-induced experiences of oceanic boundlessness are associated with decreases in depression. In particular, complete oceanic boundlessness experiences were more strongly linked to depression. Yeah, but what?
What do you mean? Was it from Parks and Rec? Saying it over is not going to make me know what it is. Ann Perkins talking about Genuine.
Yeah, they don't explain it in here. Like I don't know what they mean. The oceanic boundlessness, those two together, like it's evocative, like I could, or evocative, I guess. If somebody was like, described that as drugs, like okay, I kind of get, but then if you want to put it in terms of like this is doing something, I think you have to define it a little better than that.
Okay, I googled what this means, and now I just want to throw my phone because you never get okay. Here's the first answer I get. I googled oceanic boundless meaning. The oceanic boundlessness (OB) parentheses OB scale measures derealization and depersonalization associated with a positive basic mood ranging from heightened feelings to exaltation and alterations in the sense of time. Then if you just click on...
Or being on acid at a rave.
And if you... the Wikipedia says, in a 1927 letter to Sigmund Freud, Roman Roland coined the phrase oceanic feeling to refer to a sensation of eternity, a feeling of being one with the external world as a whole.
Well, if that's how they're describing it, then they might be onto something. I mean, I think I can attest that, I've certainly done my fair share of psychedelics, and usually those were when I was going to some Detroit party. And recently I've been getting out and seeing some techno music, and I don't do psychedelics like I used to, so it's mostly cannabis, but I just load up on edibles and dance, and I have very similar experience to what I had back in the day, only I don't have to worry about what I'm going to do for the next 6 hours.
Yeah. Like, is it just a fancy way of saying you get high?
You get out of your own head, essentially, is what they're saying. High enough so that you stop thinking about the everyday bullshit.
Isn't that what antidepressants do?
I don't think so. It's more about brain chemistry.
See, like for me, I've always told people, for me, weed stops the gears from turning. It slows them down. Like a lot of other people, they say it does the opposite. For me, my brain's always running a million miles a minute. Weed slows it down.
Yep. Slows it down enough so that it's like the conveyor belt in the I Love Lucy episode, you know, when they get the job box and the chocolates. It just keeps getting faster and faster. Like every one of those chocolates represents a different thought. I wake up in the morning and my brain is stuffing chocolates into its mouth. And I smoke a little and the conveyor belt slows down and Lucy is able to put them into order and tackle them one by one and put them in the box it up. Put it away in the head, and don't think about it.
It's very apt way to describe it.
Yep. Just slow down the conveyor belt so I can deal with things on a case-by-case basis.
Yeah, instead of letting everything pile up.
Yep. Or oceanic boundlessness, if you want to sound pretentious.
Right. Or sound like an asshole. Call it oceanic boundlessness.
All right. I think on that note, wraps up this episode.
Yeah. We're on social media. Like us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter at TheWeisman420. On Instagram at The Weisman Podcast. Head to ChristopherMedia.net. Click on the PayPal button or the Amazon banner if you would like to help us out. And wherever you listen, rate and review us, please and thank you. That helps other people find us. And yeah, if you like the show, we want to hear it. So rate and review us. 4 or 5 stars only. Please and thank you. And stay high.
Stay high.
Start your day right with Daily Immune Support Plus Extra Strength 5-Hour Energy. It contains all the great 5-Hour Energy Shot ingredients, plus added vitamins and nutrients like zinc, vitamin D3, and vitamin C to help support the immune system. It comes in 3 great flavors: Ultra Orange, Pineapple Apricot, and Pink Watermelon. All this comes in a convenient portable bottle that takes just seconds to drink. No mixing required. Daily Immune Support Plus Extra Strength 5-Hour Energy. Get it today at your local Rite Aid store.
New hot and iced Sunrise Batch Coffee from Dunkin'. A bright and balanced, full-bodied blend, brewed so you can get summering from sunrise to sunset. And even after that, because that's when you can show off those string lights you hung in the backyard. Or rehung. Enjoy a medium, hot or iced Sunrise Batch Coffee for $2. America runs on Dunkin'. Price and participation may vary. Limited time offer. Exclusions apply. New hot and iced Sunrise Batch Coffee from Dunkin'. A bright and balanced, full-bodied blend, brewed so you can get summering from sunrise to sunset. And even after that, because that's when you can show off those string lights you hung in the backyard. Or rehung. Enjoy a medium, hot or iced Sunrise Batch Coffee for $2. America runs on Dunkin'. Price and participation may vary. Limited time offer. Exclusions apply.
The Weisman Podcast. ChristopherMedia.net.